talking about?
All we be talking about? You could be talking about a lot of guys.
You got a shot on one guy.
Got a shot on one guy. I'll say my roommate, Ernest Green. Hard-working guy, O-lineman like myself. You know, we put in the blood, sweat, and tears together on the field, and I'm excited for a really good season for him.
What stands out most about Ernest on the field?
Probably his physicality, just his mean streak, kind of like how I play, like how we all play on O-line at Georgia. Just mean dog, man, and he, you know, he really prides himself on his hometown. So it'll be good for him to get some good playing time next year.
What area do you think Michael Williams took the biggest jump from his sophomore year to his junior year? Obviously, he dealt with the injury this year, but where did he make the biggest strides?
Everywhere. Faster, stronger. His technique. He's one of the hardest working guys on our team. So, you know, one of the last off the field. I'd say a lot of his technical work, hand fighting, playing with a base better, but just all around improvement.
Xavier, what do you have? What do you possess that a lot of O-linemen here don't necessarily?
I don't want to say a lot of O-linemen here don't, but I like to pride myself on athleticism, speed, and just, again, like my nasty streak, physicality. We like to play to a standard at UGA, and, you know, it's important to uphold that standard, and I'm just excited to have the opportunity to come out here and show everybody what I got.
Your explosion and flexibility have been, like, you can see the improvement over your time.
Yes, sir.
What have you been doing to get more explosive and more flexible?
Yes, sir. Just honestly living in the weight room and on the field. I've tried to take that the past 3 years, just getting in the weight room as much as I can, focusing on my nutrition, hydration, a lot of field work. I feel like, you know, in the offseason I've been training with Pete Bomarito down in Miami, so he does, you know, a lot of speed work and drills, and it's been nothing but a pleasure getting to work with him. But again, just taking care of my body, making sure I'm stretching, doing the right thing to optimize my ability.
Do you ever work out with grapplers or wrestlers to work on some of the skills you can get from those guys?
Yeah, so some of our O-line guys are wrestlers. Dylan Fairchild, you're familiar with him. He's
great wrestler.
Yes, one of the best I've ever seen. You know, we try to take it easy on each other, but, you know, we like to have fun. We like to wrestle around the locker room sometimes, so I try to pick up stuff from him. Yeah.
Xavier, Jared described a moment early in the week where the Georgia offensive linemen may have came together and sat down. Do you recall?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe it and just what about it and how that was special?
Yeah,
that you guys can be here together. I mean, that's unique.
For sure. It was just a full circle moment. You know, when you put in so much work over the years with these guys, and, you know, you're all working towards a common goal. You know, we have our team goals, but everybody has the goal of ending up, you know, where we are here, where we have the opportunity to be and speak to you guys here. So I think we just took a minute to kind of pray and get together and embrace the moment, and it was a pretty special thing.
Xavier, what can you say about Dylan as a player on the field?
I'm sorry?
What can you say about Dylan as a player on the field?
Just mentally and physically tough. He works hard to be a perfectionist. He's his own, you know, he's his biggest critic. So I think that'll translate in the NFL, you know, perfectly. I'd say I've seen him drive 360-pound dudes 10 yards back and put them on their neck. And, you know, there's not a lot of guys I could say that I've seen do that. So he's a special talent, strong as hell. Again, that wrestling background kind of comes back into play with his, you know, play style. So I think it's unique.
If you can be in any offensive line room in the next level and learn from anyone, who would it be and why?
Learn from anyone? Honestly, it'd be a blessing to end up in any offensive line room in the country. I'm not just going to say one team, but hopefully a team with a history of really solid O-line with a high standard. Just coming from Georgia, I'd like to be in another program with a high standard of excellence.
If you could take 3 Georgia teammates with you to the next level, which 3 would you choose and why?
That's a tough one. I want to bring everybody with me. You know, I'll give you the straight answer.
Don't give Howie Roseman ideas.
Yeah, I'll just say the 3 O-linemen that I got here. You know, I pretty much am around them every single day of the year round for the past at least 4 years. Each of these guys. So, you know, they've seen me improve. I've seen them improve. We put the work in together. We've faced the same adversity over the years together. So, you know, these are the guys I want in the trenches with me. These are the guys I want packing my parachute. I trust them, you know, with my life. And you have to. Playing O-line, it's a unit. You all have to be on the same page. So, I'd say, you know, Jared, Dylan, and Tate.
Could you give me a 30-second thumbnail scouting report on each of those guys?
On each of those guys?
Yeah, just short.
I'd say Tate's a battler, having to overcome some of the stuff he's had to overcome through, people look at the mullet and they see the mullet, but I know the man before the mullet. So just
that's a t-shirt.
That is a t-shirt, the man before the mullet. But just seeing him come a long way has been incredible. Jared too. Jared's probably one of the most unbelievably athletically gifted O-linemen I've ever seen. Probably one of the fastest O-linemen I've ever seen. So I'm really excited to see how he does in the drills and in running. It's a blessing to get to watch him. And Dylan, just explosive, strong as an ox, great with his hands. It's just unbelievable talent.
Xavier, if you can show scouts one game of yours from Georgia.
Yes, sir.
What game would that be and why?
Yeah, I'd probably say our second national championship season, 2022, the Ohio State game. I played left guard that whole entire game. I was next to Broderick Jones and Cedric Van Pran, and I just feel like we had a 60-minute game where we kicked ass. Personally, I think that was one of my best games I played over my career. It's always, when you get to those postseason games, those SEC championship playoff games, the national championship games, the stakes are kind of up, and the energy goes up. You feel it, so it's a blessing to get to play in those postseason games. I feel like I took the opportunity with that one.
You play quite a few different positions at Georgia. How valuable do you think it is to have that type of versatility? Do you have a preference for it?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of my forte. My game is being able to be a guy that can be a switch player, switch in the middle of a drive if I need to, in the middle of a game, whatnot. I think I've started a game at all four positions except for center over my career, and I'm comfortable anywhere on the field. I think that's a very valuable thing to have at the next level. As your rosters get shorter and shorter, that's something I feel like you need on the O-line, and that's something I can give to NFL teams.
Xavier, this week meeting with plenty of NFL teams. Have you met with the Buccaneers yet?
I don't believe I have met with the Buccaneers yet. No.
Xavier, as a Georgia guy, what was it like for you to watch what Brock Bowers did at the next level with the Raiders, and what makes him just such a special player?
The work he puts in, every day. Again, I think he's just God-gifted, athletically talented. That guy is just unbelievable. But as much God-given talent as he has, he's put in more work. That guy was one of the first people on the field, first people in the meeting room, and the last person out the door. So just seeing what he's been able to do with his opportunity in the NFL has been unbelievable, and I know he's only going to improve over the years.
You get a chance to meet with the Titans?
With the Tennessee Titans, briefly, I believe so. I had an informal interview, yes.
Xavier, what advice are you given to a Georgia newcomer, especially coming from Rhode Island?
Yes, sir.
Probably took you some time to get acclimated.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to a newcomer coming to Georgia?
I'd say trust the guys that came before you and trust the coaches. I don't, think they're blowing smoke at you. I think it's important to buy into the program. What's the reason you came to Georgia? Did you come here, because you wanted to rock the G and wear the red and you think it was cool, or did you come here to win a national championship and become a draft eligible player? And I feel like sometimes with the younger guys, it can get lost or confusing at first. You might not feel comfortable. You're the little fish in the big pond again when you show up to Athens. And everybody has that shared experience when they first step on the campus, or when they first take their first big hit at practice and get knocked on their butt. So I'd say just believe in yourself, know you're here for a reason, and buy in, because at the end of the day, it's bigger than you.
I was just going to say, speaking of, what was your big hit? I mean, do you remember your big hit in practice? Knocked you on your butt?
Took a couple of them over my first. Even until this year, it's a process of getting better. It's humbling. Going to Georgia is a humbling experience, and everybody's, again, going to have that shared experience. I'd say a couple of my big hits were we had Jermaine Johnson my freshman year. Jermaine Johnson put me on my butt a couple times when I was a youngin'. Jordan Davis was huge. Vontae Davis, some of those guys. Azeez Ojulari gave me fits, coming in, and coming from Rhode Island football to Georgia was a huge adjustment. But I believe going against those caliber of players day in and day out only improved my game.
Xavier, I'm gonna test your memory a little bit here. Not this most recent season.
Yeah.
But the one before that against Missouri. I don't know if you had any reps against them, but do you remember anything about Johnny Walker, number 15 on the defensive line?
This was the close game we had with them?
Yes.
Johnny Walker, did he play edge?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I do remember I gave up my first sack of my career against Johnny Walker. I'm pretty sure. He went first round?
He hasn't gone yet. No, you might be thinking of Darius Russ.
Okay, I'm thinking of Darius Russ then. Yeah, bigger guy, yeah.
Do you remember anything about Johnny at all, or if anything?
I apologize.
No worries, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Xavier, when you started playing football, was it always offensive line?
When I first started playing football, I played a few different positions in middle school. I've always played O-line, but when I was in middle school, I played running back, tight end. I played everywhere on the D-line. I played outside linebacker, inside linebacker. But once I got to high school, it was steady offensive line, defensive line, and I did that all the way until I got to college, and then it's been O-line ever since.
What tipped the scales to the O-line?
I'm sorry?
What tipped the scales to go to offense?
To go to the O-line? Are you talking like in high school?
What tipped the scales?
What do you mean by that? Like
What made your decision? What helped your
to
decision?
play O-line?
Yes.
Oh, I got recruited for O-line. I wasn't good enough at D-line in high school, so I think they saw my length, my body type, my athleticism. Again, this is all green flags for Georgia football recruiters, and they came up all the way to Rhode Island to grab me. Coach at the time it was Coach Sam Pittman. He's the one who recruited me to Georgia, and again, not a lot of people where I'm from, one, play Division I football, and two, have the opportunity and make the decision to play in the SEC. And I think a big thing for me when making that decision was I wanted to be different. I wanted to go where I knew they were going to develop me into the best player I could be, and I wanted a challenge for myself. And I think I got all of that.
Enjoy zone or gap more?
I'm sorry?
Do you enjoy zone or gap more?
Ooh. I'd say zone, but again, I just like hitting people, man. It doesn't really matter to me as long as I get to come off the ball and hit somebody and show my physicality. I'm enjoying myself.
Xavier, Tate was over there a second ago talking about Coach Searle, the adjustment whenever he became head coach, talking about his aggressive style that took some getting used to. What was that like? That aspect like for you?
Coach Searles?
Coach Searle took over his style of coach.
Yeah, man, I love Coach Searles, and everybody I think needs a coach like Coach Searles to, excuse my language, will light a fire under your ass when you need it. And when you're not in the building and it's not so serious, when you're in the building, it's work. You're here to work. You have a job to do. And fortunately, having Coach Searles as my coach, we got a lot of time to get together either at his house or off campus and just enjoy being around each other on a more personal level. So you get to see both sides of Coach, but I respect his ability to pretty much gain the respect and attention of the room.
From outside the Georgia football building, I think he gets a bum rap sometimes. People look at maybe some of the quote-unquote issues that people see the offensive line maybe it's added last year. You think he gets too much blame for that kind of thing?
I don't think so necessarily, but again, I think it all comes back down to us. We're a unit. It's how we play. He's doing his best job that he can out there as a coach. And if he wasn't, he wouldn't be the O-line coach at UGA. So again, that kind of falls back on the O-line, and it's our responsibility to be a good reflection of our coach and our staff.
How much did injuries play a role in that, those issues? Everybody, I think, up front was banged up.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nature of the game. I don't think there's ever been an offensive lineman in college football, NFL history that's played a game 100% healthy. Again, that's just how it is. You got to play banged up. I don't think it's an excuse to play bad or anything like that. I think there's a difference between you're injured and you're banged up. Injury, you can't really play through. You're not going to play at all. But banged up, get out there and make your plays, do your job.
Let me ask you also, here at the Combine, you got 3 other offensive line brothers. What was it like the first time here, young guys got together again?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I talked about, we had a full circle moment. We have our team goals and, what we try to reach during the season, but we also I think every player has an individual goal of trying to reach this stage where I'm talking to you through this mic right now. And to see that we all have made it full circle, and we're come back together is incredible, and I'm blessed that we get to have this special week, which is huge for all of us, and we get to share it together. Like, my roommate is Jared, and it's awesome just trying to catch up with him. We haven't seen each other. We've been training the past 2 months, so it's just been a blessing.
And you've talked a lot about the progress you made from day one to Georgia, the way you are standing right now. Back 5 years ago, did you ever envision yourself standing right there where you're at?
Absolutely. Did I think it would take 6 years at that time? Maybe not. But I'm I'm here. I'm here now, and the work's not done. This is only a part of the step of a much bigger goal, and I'm excited to see how my teammates are going to do this week. Some of my teammates on the defense have already done great with their running and jumping and testing, so I'm excited.
Are these teams talking about you both inside and outside?
Yeah, a lot of guys, a lot of the teams that I've talked to, I've made it a point to note that I am a swing player. That they ask me how comfortable I am going back and forth, and I just say I love it. As long as I'm on the field, I am having fun.
Being your teammates, how was Tate as a leader?
As a leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of our big leaders for the year. Obviously, he's a big figure on our team, publicly and privately, in the locker room. But again, he's one of those guys that the younger guys already know who he is coming in. They look up to him. They respect him. He has the respect of pretty much all his teammates. I'm not going to say pretty much. He has respect of all of his teammates, including me, the whole staff. I'll bring it back to what I said earlier. Like, me personally, I've just seen what he's overcome, the adversity he's faced, the mental and physical toughness that he has and he plays with, and it's unbelievable, and he deserves every bit of this attention and this opportunity.
And then the Eagles made it a draft plan that seemed to just draft as many Georgia Bulldogs as they could.
The Georgia Eagles, yeah.
And they won the Super Bowl. Seemed like a pretty good plan. Why is it such a good idea to draft Georgia Bulldogs?
The standard we play at. I think a lot of our guys have played in those high-pressure moments, and having Coach Smart as our head coach, he prepares us very well for specific situations. I think I've played in a postseason game every year. I've been at Georgia, which is an unbelievable opportunity. I think that's pretty unique and special, and I think just the work we put in. He kind of molds the program after an NFL team. He does a lot of NFL things, so it's just a perfect place for you to be set up into the NFL to make that transition into the NFL. Yeah, I'd say mental toughness. I think, it's natural at the position to have physical toughness. You wouldn't be an offensive lineman if you didn't have physical toughness, but I think not everybody has that mental toughness, the ability to, if you make a mistake, be able to next play, have that next play mentality. It's huge, especially in the NFL. You're getting less opportunities to play than you are in college, and there's less practice. You have less time to perfect your game, so being able to make a mistake, get over it, next play, it's a new play, is huge. Mental toughness is something I feel like everybody in the world could use nowadays, and but yeah, mental toughness. All set? Yeah. Appreciate you guys.